Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the SDG Media Zone. I'm here in New York in the United Nations headquarters today for a very nice, important conversation around AI and the United Nations. I'm here today with three guests, Mrs. Bjørg Sandkjær, Assistant Secretary General from UN DESA, Mrs. Guan, Chief AI and Data Officer from Accenture, and Mr. Lambert Hogenhout, Chief of Data and AI from OICT from the UN Secretariat. We're here today to discuss a very interesting initiative that was born from June 2024 when UN DESA united OICT and Accenture to develop the SDG Chat. This is the first proposal approved by the UN Secretariat's cross-functional working group on generative AI. Using GenAI, SDG Chat provides a single intuitive interface for accessing UN DESA SDG resources and knowledge, enabling users to find relevant information more easily while fostering global engagements on the SDGs. This also demonstrates how UN partnerships with the private sector can help accelerate the SDGs and its implementation. So first, I will go to you, Mrs. Bjørg. What is the SDG Chat?
Great question. SDG Chat is a service, a chat service that you can access through any device that you use to go online with, your computer, your mobile phone, whatever it is. It uses AI to give you as the user any information that you might be looking for around the Sustainable Development Goals. The SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals, are 17 goals that the global community agreed on 10 plus years ago. They are really the shared global blueprint or the global action plan to change people's lives, to achieve peace, to achieve prosperity, to achieve sustainability. In those 10 plus years, we have just amassed a wealth of information about results, implementation of all these 17 goals, data, examples, lots of reports that are available but not easily accessible for you as the user. So the SDG Chat will help bridge that gap between all of that information that we have available on UN DESA's websites and our reports, our events, everything that's going on in relation to the SDGs and the outside world, which can make use of this information. And through the SDG Chat, it can help direct you to the relevant publication or event, but the SDG Chat uses AI to also synthesize, to bring out what's relevant for you. So it responds to your question on anything to do with the Sustainable Development Goals. So in addition to making all that information available and accessible, it's also a really interesting new experience for us to show how generative AI can be used in a UN context and to work together with partners in Accenture and the OICT to make this available.
Thank you. That's so interesting. Also for me as a young person, I find it very relevant. What would you say is the difference between this chat and the former data-based old school?
I think you said it, old school. We have a range of websites where you'll find this information. The reports, we have databases, and again we have different events. But until now you've had to go to each of these individual sites to look for the information that you want. And often you might not know exactly in which report is this the response to the question I'm looking for. If you're a journalist, we get a lot of requests from journalists about progress on SDGs or other good examples, case studies, all different aspects of the Sustainable Development Goals. And instead of now having to go to all these different websites and knowing more in advance what it is or where it is the information that you are looking for is located, through this, a teacher who is looking for teaching materials for their students, the private sector is very interested in SDGs and also contact us and want more information about, again, good examples or progress or whatever it is. The difference is that rather than having to know in advance what you want and then know where to go to find it, now you can go to the SDG Chat, you ask your question, It can be very general or very specific, and then the AI-powered chatbot will crawl all those websites and reports and bring that information to you as the user.
This sounds amazing. I already want to chat with this SDG chat. Thank you, Bjørg. And I turn now to you, to Guan, Chief and AI Data Officer from Accenture. So why did you decide to collaborate with the United Nations on advancing on this chat? Why are you investing also on this, and what do you see out of it?
Fantastic question. First of all, I'm delighted to be part of the panel and share our lesson learned and the journey together with two other colleagues. I think that this is we have learned so much, right, from this project working with UN, building this SDG chat. But let me focus on three things. I think first and foremost, this is really a case where demonstrate AI is a technology to bring organizations, to bring people together, right? So I've been doing AI for almost 25 years, right? Wow. I always say, okay, comparing to this generation of AI, the past technology was less accessible, right? In the past, in order for us to build AI applications, we have to get access to a lot of data, a lot of compute, right? So now, right, using large language models built by large tech companies, a lot of organizations are easier, right, to get access to this kind of intelligence. So that's why we're seeing public organizations like UN investing in, AI applications to bring better benefits, to planned people and prosperity. I love that slogan, right? And then also in private industry sector, we do a lot of projects with the private organizations to also help them, build better products, improve customer experience, right? Boost productivities, right, for the entire society. So I think it's just amazing technology to bring everyone together, right? So I think that's the first point that we are so excited about this one. And then the second point is really about I think I would say what we were just talking about earlier, the ability to use AI to access enormous amount of information, right? I think the partnership is all about 1 + 1 = 3, right? And to me, this is we have done a lot of partnership in the private sector, right? I always talk about partners need to be complementing each other, right? UN has a wealth of information. UN has the mission for SDG goals. UN also has reputation, right? So I think and of course your deep knowledge insights in SDGs, right? Accenture, we bring technology, we bring talents. We've been investing $3 billion in AI technology, right? So to help a lot of organizations accelerate their AI journey, we have also more than 80,000 people in Accenture working in AI day in and day out. So I think to me this project is so exciting because we're able to bring both sides of the strengths together, right, to make this an awesome application. I think last but not the least, I want to call out my partner here, Lambert. I think everything needs a personal touch, right? So truly the Lambert's leadership, his vision, his expertise, the grit, right, is the cornerstone of the success of SDG Chat. I remember 2.5 years ago when we first got together, Lambert said, I have this vision to use GenAI for SDG chats. I'm like, are you serious? Right? I don't think this is gonna happen. This is so hard, so much data, right? So, but then the two teams have been working together side by side, knock things down. I just want to call out that this program would not be possible without Lambert's personal leadership. Thank you.
No. Thank you, and I will turn then directly also to you, maybe to ask what was this personal also experience that is behind the building of this chat, and also what do you think about these emerging technologies serving the UN and the SDG goals?
Sure, yeah. I think as we all realize, or starting to realize, AI has enormous potential for the SDGs, for the UN and its mandates, and for the world. And it's way beyond our capacity to implement. We all know about the challenges that we have financially and in terms of our resource constraints, human resource constraints as well, and also expertise, because this field moves so quickly. I think everybody is grappling with having enough expertise on this. So we really need help. So I was so happy that we could partner with Accenture on this AI for Good initiative and get that expertise and the help to implement. So, and we were also very lucky to partner with DESA on an application that goes to the core of the UN, the SDGs, right? It's like the most encompassing kind of application that you can imagine. Of course, you know, I'll speak a little bit from a technical perspective as well, because we talk a lot about AI, and when you have a PowerPoint slide, it's very easy to make a rectangular box and to put AI in it. When you start actually building it, and it's not easy, you know, it takes a lot of hard work. And you know, as the Sandkjær was already referring to the huge amount of information that goes in there that you can interact with. So, you know, that all needs to be massaged and analyzed and to put it in there and to be able to run things at scale where millions of people can access it. It's challenging. So we from OICT side, we learned so much from this project. And of course, as you learn more, you get more ideas of projects that you can do, right? So I already have so many follow-up ideas for projects, so it's a really exciting time.
Yes, it's definitely a very exciting time, and you were mentioning how important these new emerging technologies can become for us all. And maybe about that, sometimes I feel that AI is a big black box that everyone is talking about, but no one maybe actually understands. So maybe I turn again to you, Ms. Guan. How did you build this more concretely from your expertise in AI, and how can we make sure that that information that that AI chat is 100% accurate?
Yeah, that's a very good question. AI is not scary, right? I think everybody needs to learn AI. Everybody needs to master AI. So I got these questions a lot, right? What is the secret sauce, right, behind this first ever public-facing AI application, right, that we built together? I would say three things that I think I want people to remember, right? First, I think it's the importance of the context. Okay, so as we all know, right, the large language model that is powering the SDG Chat, right, is built based on the public information, right? But if you think about SDG Chat, it's such a rich subject, right? The 17 goals, right? And lots of information, lots of users, everybody has different, preferences. So the first thing that we did as a project is actually, brought together a lot of this rich information, right? And create the context for large language model to almost behave at the end, right? Like the SDG expert, right? So like we learned so much too. Like for example, my team was telling me, okay, for them to answer the questions like, okay, what's the climate change, impact of the climate change in country of Norway? Well, what do people do about that? You need to be having the domain knowledge of the climate science, right? So, okay, how about another goal of life under the water, right? So a lot of people asking that kind of questions. So in order for the SDG Chat to be very relevant to do this kind of reasoning, you almost need to train the AI to be the marine biologist, right? To understand the ocean, ecology, things like that. So it's not like you can just pull large language model off the box and plug that into UN systems, right? So building this context, train a general purpose model to be contextual, to UN's context is super, super important. I would say the second thing that we have done right is also because of the high standard, right, of reliability, trustworthiness that UN team asks us to uphold, right? So actually, we built a lot of guardrails into the SDG chat, so that if AI doesn't know, right, how to answer this question, or this question is out of the scope, it will just tell you, right? I'm not able to answer this question because of XYZ reason. So I think being truthful, building this kind of guardrails so that to set the right expectation with the users is super important. I think the last point that I want to make here, which we feel, this is something that we can also take to other projects, right, is that on the architecture side, right, we recognize UN is updating SDG contents all the time, right? It's not static. So we actually build an architecture that is composable, I'm using the technical term, right, so that you can decouple, right, the SDG chat, the knowledge layer, right, from the constantly changing SDG, data sources, right, so that we can ensure users have the seamless experience, right, with the SDG chat, with this super smart AI agent, right, but at the same time, UN can continuously update the underlying information, right? So that's the, I think those are three things among many, many things, right, happening behind the scene, but I want to call out these are the three, almost like the technical kind of secret sauce that now we can take to other projects as well.
That's amazing. And also digging in a little bit of that black box to understand also what processes go behind the building of this kind of technology, which sounds thrilling and exciting, and also very user-centered, which I also feel already very excited to go and chat a little bit with this SDG chat. I wanted to go back to you, Lambert, to ask you about this UN Global Dialogue on AI governance that we just had. We've been all looking at it very closely. I think the world has been looking at it closely. How does this relate also to this initiative, to the SDG chat? And yes, what is the work also behind OICT around this dialogue and this kind of initiatives?
Yeah, sure. I think it's good to look at things from both sides, the sort of practical on the ground and the sort of more global implications for society and for the world, and the sort of very high level objectives. And they're at the two opposite ends of the spectrum, but obviously they're related, because what we do day to day with AI has implications. So in the global dialogue, we talk about what is this AI going to do for humanity, both positively, but also what are the risks and what are the things we control? How can we make sure that we steer where AI is going in something to somewhere that is supportive of, that improves our lives, right? And that doesn't create all kinds of negative side effects. And the same is true that we're talking about at a high level. It's true for an individual application. Lan talked about the guardrails that they're putting in place. If somebody asks questions that tend to go off the rails, and we need to make sure that what we say is in line with what the UN knows and says, and our position on the SDGs. And probably if I ask it for a recipe for spaghetti, it will tell me I don't know about that, right? And so I think that's where it starts, to ensure that whatever applications you build, you minimize the risk of negative impacts on whoever uses it. And then, of course, at the high level, we talk about risks for society as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's very interesting, and again, for me as a young person, is very important to see how the UN is advancing on this. That seems also to be the agenda of the year, but it's also advancing it in this also sustainable way, having these initiatives, this concrete also things that we're offering to people, but also this important global dialogues on more on the ethics, also on the frameworks also behind them. I would like to maybe ask again, Bjørg, what is your view with this? How do you envision this? I guess also you've been also here in this house for a long time, and what do you see on this SDG Chat and how success looks like for you?
No, absolutely. I've been on both sides of this table of information around Sustainable Development Goals. So I know from the outside that there is great interest in what's happening on sustainable development. Just this week, member states are meeting here in New York for the high-level political forum. We've just released the SDG Progress Report for 2026. 36 countries are presenting their national reports. There's a lot of information which is made available just this week. And looking at it from the outside and remembering what that was like, it can be difficult, again, to know where to go to access all this information, and to find ways of accessing the information and analyzing it in a way that makes it useful to my life, whether I'm an activist, a researcher, someone from the private sector, a student, whoever it is that would like to access all this information. So I'm really excited that this SDG Chat helps to bridge that gap or disconnect between the users, the potential users in the outside world, and that wealth of information that we have available and that is growing, just like we heard here. And it's interesting to hear how that again is a challenge for working out how you make the tools that are able to take in new information and then and analyze that going forward. So what does success look like? I think ultimate success of Sustainable Development Goals is change in people's lives, achieving sustainable development. The SDG Chat can be a tool to make available information to help spur that change. So success for the SDG Chat, I think, would be to see that it is trusted and used by that whole broad range of different types of target groups and audiences that I mentioned, from the teacher to the private sector to the activist to the policymaker at the local level or the national level, or anyone else really who is interested and is able to use the SDG Chat to trust the information that's there, take it, use it in whatever context they are in. So if we achieve that, I think we've really achieved a lot.
Definitely. Where can I access it? How can I access the SDG Chat, and when?
It's unfortunately not quite available yet,
Okay.
but it will be available soon.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good.
The team is doing the
Yes.
final testing, right? So yeah, it will be live on the site
Perfect.
very soon.
Okay.
For everyone.
Yeah.
We look forward to chatting and learning, and thank you again, the three of you. This shows also a very interesting partnership between the private sector also and the United Nations to advance the SDGs in a very concrete and also, I would say, very future-looking also project program. And then I really hope also that everyone is able to soon access and dialogue also with this SDG Chat and learn. So thank you again. Thank you also for joining us in this dialogue at the SDG Media Zone. And thank you everyone also that is listening. We invite you also to learn more about the SDG Chat, to use it and to amplify this important, relevant also tool to access important information about the SDGs, to advance also the SDGs together. My name is Martha. I'm from the UN Youth Office, and I'm happy and honored to have had this conversation with you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.